What is up, guys? As some of you may know, the Abyss is resetting, and with this Abyss, the Abyss is actually changing completely from floors 9 through 12. The leyline disorders or the effectors are changing, the Blessing of the Moon is changing, as well as the monsters are changing on 9 through 12. So I wanted to make this video to quickly go over the new floors and the new floor changes, and give my analysis on them. So before we begin, I just want to restate that floors 1 through 8 will not be changing or resetting at all. So floor 7 will still have its crazy crit damage multiplier and the same low level mobs, and people will still make damage showcase videos on floor 7. So if you do watch any damage showcase videos, continue to be very wary if they do showcase a character on floor 7 of the Abyss. Before we talk about the floors, let's talk about the Blessing of the Abyssal Moon buff. This buff will exist on all floors, and pretty much what's going to happen is when you do pick up a crystallized shield formed by Geo and Cryo, it will deal a shockwave to nearby enemies about this size, and it will also reduce your cooldown by 1 second for your elemental skill. It is only for the character that picks up the shield, so make sure that you pick it up with the character that you want to have reduced cooldowns for. For those that don't know, MiHoYo has already released the future moon buffs that will be changing out every 2 weeks. As you can see here, we already have Phase 1, which is the one listed in game, and Phase 2 is going to be a phase where the moon buff will give extra attack speed, and movement speed if you pick up Cryo Crystallized Shield. This effect will last for 20 seconds and can stack up to 5 times. Phase 3, the buff after the Phase 2, will be if you pick up a Cryo Crystallized Shield, you'll have increased crit rate by 8% for 20 seconds, up to 5 stacks total. Phase 2 and Phase 3 buffs are very strong, so if you want to build up some Cryo and Geo units for these phase buff changes, then that could definitely work out, but keep in mind that these are only temporary and kind of a debate for you to pull and build up Cryo Geo characters. Alright, now let's get them on the floors. I'm going to go quickly over the new leyline disorders because I know there's a lot of people who have not watched my previous Abyss buff change video. And so for floor 9, it's going to basically add the sheer cold effect that you find in Dragonspine into the entire floor. There's going to be a Rune Barrage here, that little fire statue that's going to be available for you to get rid of the sheer cold, but monsters are going to try to attack it and deactivate the structure, and it will restart after a little while. Floor 10 will also have sheer cold, but instead of having that little structure, it's going to have a warming Sealy that's going to be moving around so that you can go warm yourself on that. People cannot attack it, so don't worry about it. Just get to it whenever you need to get rid of your sheer cold. For floor 11, the center will periodically pulsate with the Engulfing Storm debuff, which is the Electro debuff, which will cause your characters to slowly lose energy and make it a little bit harder for you to get your elemental burst skills, but this can be easily cleansed with any sort of character that imbues your character with a non-electro element, such as Barbara with the wet status, such as Xingqiu with the wet, Bennett with the Pyro, Jean with the Anemo Swirl, Xinyan with the Pyro, and other characters. Ultimately, this drain is not really that severe, and you can still reach your burst skills even if you don't cleanse it off, so don't worry too much about it, but if your burst goes away, this is the reason why your burst is going away. The floor will also increase cryo damage dealt by all party members by 75%, so if you have cryo units, feel free to use them on floor 11. And lastly, for floor 12, Condensed Ice, or that annoying stamina debuff, is gone now, and so is the Pyro buff, and is now being replaced with only a Geo buff, where Geo characters will deal 75% increased damage. Alright, now let's proceed to the floor monster reviews. For floor 9, chamber 1, you'll see here that there's going to be some Cryo Slimes, the Ice Shield Wall Mid-Churl, as well as the Ice Shield Hilichurl Guard for the first half. The second half will have the Cryo Abyss Mage, the Ice Shield Wall Mid-Churl again, and a Cryo Shooter, as well as a Cryo Samachurl. This floor will definitely require you to bring heavy Pyro units, so a lot of people were hoping that the Pyro meta would be dead. Nope, Pyro meta is still super here. You're still going to be bringing your Xiangling, your Bennett, your Diluc, your Klee, your Xinyan, your Amber, etc, etc. If you guys don't have a whole lot of Pyro units, make sure you bring Amber, because her burst skill comes off at a very low cooldown, as well as destroys these shields very quickly. For those that don't know, shield damage is not determined by how much damage you do or by how strong your character is, no matter what the kind of gear or level they are. So even if you bring a level 1 Amber, she'll still destroy the shields very rapidly, but you probably do want to give her a little bit of level so she doesn't get one shot or at least a plus 20 flower. Also keep in mind, some shielded units do not get pulled in by like Sucrose or Venti or any other Anemo user until their shield is gone, so make sure you guys destroy the shield before you guys try to suck them in. Floor 9 chamber 2, first half will have Ice Shield Mid-Churls, Ice Shield Hilichurls, Cryo Grenadiers, and large Cryo Slimes. The second half will have the Cryo Gunner, as well as Electro Batui Skirmisher, and the Anemo Boxer. To get maximum stars, you'll have 5 minutes to do so, so make sure on the first half you bring a lot of Pyro units, as well as somebody to group these units up, and on the second half, make sure you bring a Pyro unit, a Cryo unit, and heavy hitters. For the third chamber, the first half will have the Cryo Lawachurls and the Cryo Archers, and the second half will have Cryo Abyss Mage as well as the Ice Shield Mid-Churls. To get max stars, you only have 3 minutes, so make sure that you bring some heavy hitters as well as some Pyro units to take off the Cryo Lawachurl shield, and for the second half, make sure you bring a lot of Pyro units to be able to take down the Abyss Mage shields and the Ice Shield as well. Floor 10 is going to be no different, where you're going to want to bring a lot of Pyro units, because on the first half of Chamber 1, Floor 10, you're going to have Cryo Abyss Mages, Cryo Slimes, and second half you're going to have Cryo Abyss Mages as well. The other monsters on the first half is going to be the Cryo Grenadiers, the Bomb Throwers, and the second half is going to have an Electro Cincin Mage and Hydro Samatrils, the ones that heal other units. Chamber 2 first half is going to have a lot of shields again, with the Ice Shield Mitatrol, Ice Shield Hilitrol, and the Cryo Grenadier. Second half is not going to have any Cryo Shields, but it will have a Cryo Cincin Mage and a bunch of Treasure Hoarders. For the third chamber, you will only have 3 minutes to get maximum stars, and the first half will have the Cryo Cincin Mage, but also a Fatui Pyro Agent. The second half will have the Frost Arm or the Cryo Lava Churls. If you're not aware of this, the Fatui Agents have high elemental resistance respective to their elements. So the Fatui Fire Pyro Agent has 50% Pyro resistance, the Electro Cincin Mage is going to have 50 Electro resistance. I'm assuming the Cryo Cincin Mage has 50 Cryo resistance, but all the Fatui Skirmishers and Agents all have minus 20 physical resistance. So for Floor 10 Chamber 3 first half, you may want to bring some physical units such as Razor if you have it already built up, but otherwise keep in mind that this Fatui Pyro Agent will have high Pyro res, and this Cincin Mage will have high Cryo res, and this Frost Arm Lava Troll will probably have high Cryo res as well, because the Stone Lava Troll has high Geo res, as well as high physical res. So Floor 11 and 12 is really where you're going to start seeing Pyro not as useful, but they are still going to be very usable because of the fact that they are Pyro at the end of the day. On Floor 11 Chamber 1 first half, you're going to have Hydro Abyss Mages, Large Electro Slimes, Mutant Electro Slimes, and Large Hydro Slimes. The second half will have Rock Shield Wall Mitatrolls and Blazing Axe Mitatrolls. The best way to destroy a Hydro Abyss Mage shield is to freeze it with a Cryo unit and then shatter it with a Claymore, Explosion, Geo, etc. You can also just whittle it down by using Electro or any other element to destroy the shield. Obviously, Hydro units will not be good to destroy the Hydro shield. I recommend that you bring some Pyro units to do some overloads on the Electro Slimes to do AoE damage, as well as Vaporize for 1.5 times damage on the Hydro Slimes. For the second half, I definitely recommend you guys bring some heavy hitters, some single target damage dealers, as well as a Claymore user, Explosion user, or a Geo user to destroy this Rock Wall shield. Obviously, don't bring Albedo to destroy the shield, because Albedo just can't destroy shields in general, whether they are Geo or any other element. Floor 11 Chamber 2 is actually the only defense-based chamber in all of the new Spiral Abyss. You're going to have 60% or higher HP as usual. On the first half, you're going to have the Wooden Shield Mitatrolls, the Blazing Axe Mitatrolls, and a bunch of the small Hilly Trolls once again. So make sure you bring some sort of Anemo user to group them together, and bring a Pyro user to destroy this Wooden Shield. The second half is going to have a Fatui Pyro Agent, Electro Cincin Mage, and a bunch of Treasure Hoarders. So once again, maybe bring some AoE or a Nemo user to group the Treasure Hoarders together. Just keep in mind that the Pyro Agent will have high Pyro res, and the Electro Cincin Mage will have high Electro res. For Chamber 3, you're going to have the typical 3 minutes to get maximum stars. The first half is going to have a bunch of Fatui Skirmishers, where you're going to want to bring a Cryo unit to get rid of the Electro Hammer shield, and you're going to bring an Electro unit to get rid of the Hydro Gunner shield, and you're going to bring a Claymore, Explosion, or Geo user that's not Albedo to get rid of the Geo Chanter shield. Second half is going to have the Pyro Agents and Electro Cincin Mage. As I said before, do not bring Pyro units for the Pyro Agent, and do not bring Electro units for Electro Cincin Mage. You can still bring these units if you want, but just keep in mind that they're going to have higher resistance. Because Floor 11 does have increased Cryo damage, and Chamber 3 does have all units with minus 20 Fizz res, it may be good to bring an Electro and Cryo unit to get the Superconduct for minus 40 Fizz res. But keep in mind that when you do have minus resistance, the resistance down is cut down in half, so it would actually be minus 20 more Fizz res if you did do Superconduct. And now for the big bad Floor 12, Chamber 1's going to have the Rock Shield Mitatrolls, the Blazing Axe Mitatrolls, and the Rock Shield Hilly Trolls. You're going to want to bring some Claymores, Explosion, or Geo users that are not Albedo to break these shields down. The second half is going to have Rune Guards and Eye of the Storm. You're going to definitely want to bring some archers to shut down the Rune Guard and knock down the Eye of the Storm. Chamber 2 first half is just going to have a lot of Treasure Hoarders that are all going to be able to be picked up by Anemo users, so make sure you bring a lot of Anemo users to be able to displace these units, group them up to multiply your damage. Second half is just going to have a bunch of Pyro Agents, so make sure you don't bring Pyro units to fight these guys off unless you have Pyro res down. And lastly, for Chamber 3, the first half is going to have the Electro Cincin Mage, the Rock Shield Mitatroll, and a bunch of Treasure Hoarders. Make sure that you bring in an Anemo user to group these Treasure Hoarders together, bring somebody to deal with the Rock Shield wall, and don't bring an Electro user to deal with this Electro Cincin Mage. The second half is going to have the Fatui Pyro Agent and the Rock Shield wall. Once again, bring some units to deal with the Rock Shield wall, and then don't bring a Pyro unit to deal with the Pyro Agent unless you're planning to do some sort of one-shot vaporized mechanic. The biggest challenge for this chamber is that the Pyro Agents are going to go invisible and run away, and you only have 3 minutes to be able to do this to get maximum stars, so bringing a one-shot mechanic will definitely help, but at the same time, if you can't one-shot it because you don't have Child or Mona, be be sure to bring somebody that can apply elements such as Oz or something like that so you can see exactly where they are. I do believe that bow units when they auto attack, or even Ningguang when they auto attack, will not auto target when he goes invisible, even if you have him marked. Alright, that's gonna be all for this video. I will be doing a lot of tests and team comp tests on my Twitch channel, so make sure you guys check that out. The link will be down in the description below. Please do consider leaving a like on this video, comment down below what you think about the new Abyss, subscribe for more Genshin related content or Abyss content, join my Discord to be part of our Genshin Impact community, get some help on Abyss, co-op, and ask other questions or just hang out. Also consider following me on my socials such as Twitter and Instagram, where I post a lot of new content, leaks, and information as soon as possible, such as the new Abyss floors. I posted these as soon as they went live. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.